Hey guys, we are back with another She's Ready vlog, podcast, and whatever else God wants to make it. Listen, I believe that this episode is going to be so special. I got my girl. I met her at church, but listen, now she is my responsible homegirl, and it is Kionnie.
Period.
Hey girl, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Are you excited to be on the
I
podcast?
am so excited. And I know I told you this privately, but I'm so proud of you. Because I can just remember me and you sitting down having these conversations in Google about what you wanted to do, all these ideas that you had, but feeling like you didn't have the time. Y'all know how we say, I don't have time.
Right.
And just all of these different things. And for you to come in this year with a bang, consistent, showing up, doing it afraid, I'm so proud of you.
Thank
I'm
you,
excited to be
Kionnie.
here.
Thank you. And I'm proud of you too, girl.
Thank
Listen,
you, sis.
I am, and not only me showing up, but God, oh, that's actually your ministry. And that's also why you were getting attacked in that area so much. So you were trying to use every excuse, everything you could, because if you started, it was going to pull thousands of people right into that same journey, that they wouldn't have the excuses anymore. They wouldn't be able to, they would have to be ready for all that God said. And so it made it all oh God, I get why that was that, it was so strong. I would come in there and be I just can't do it. I really do want to do these things. But God was
every excuse in the book.
Every excuse, girl, literally. And Kionnie girl, please. And I'm I just can't. I'm so overwhelmed. Or what about that? But now I think about just man, God, his faithfulness. Because I'm still doing all the things that I was doing before.
Right.
But the Lord was just let me show you how to walk this out. And so it's been beautiful.
And how do you feel with, you just said, I'm doing all the same things that I'm doing before, and then this is an added thing. How do you feel executing?
I feel good. It's been challenging. What about that? It's been challenging, but a good challenge to for me to see the time that I do have when I'm not distracted by other things, and so when I'm not trying to escape with my Netflix. So Netflix ain't being a big I used to be y'all, this the show to watch. I don't know what the show to watch right now is. That I haven't been turning my TV on as much as I used to, except for to go to bed. I turn on my wife and kids. Okay, so it took a lot of discipline. So the Lord really dealt with me on all right, cool. This is what a disciplined life looks like, and you might have to, your day that you used to rest might have to turn into this, and your day of rest might have to switch into this day, or all these different things. And he going to the gym will help you learn how to be more disciplined, just certain things. And so he had me walking through this whole journey, and so I was oh God, I actually got time, and I actually if I was working out and eating right, I would have the energy to put forth into my own things, so just all the things that I'm oh, all the stuff he was telling me was to lead me to this moment and for my good. So
it's so interconnected, and I'm happy you brought up that D word, discipline.
Woo.
Because we're gonna talk about discipline, especially as it relates to finances today. So I'm proud of you.
Yes, I'm proud of you too. So I'm excited. So Kionnie, tell us a little bit about I don't even know what you call it overall. I know you have the Responsible Homegirl. Is it nonprofit? Is it where is it at right now?
So the Responsible Homegirl is a for-profit company. So I like to always tell people I have a financial education company. So when you see me on social media, you might think oh, influencer, or oh, she's talking about finances, she blogging, da-da-da. All of that stuff is good, but overall, I'm a financial educator. So
I love that, financial educator.
Yes,
period.
ma'am.
Okay, I need a financial educator, so I'm glad to be sitting in front of one today.
Yes.
And so tell me a little bit about some of the things you do, or matter of fact, before we even get there, tell me about how this vision and all of this kind of even came to be. Tell me.
Okay. So I'm originally from King Street, South Carolina.
Okay.
If y'all don't know about King Street, it's a small itty bitty town in South Carolina.
Because I'm from Florence.
Right down the street.
Right down the street.
So my senior year of high school, my mom was like, Kionnie, I know you want to go to college, but I don't have any money to send you there. So I was just okay, cool. I'm a smart girl. I graduated number 3 in my class. So I'm I'm gonna figure this thing out.
Right.
I don't know why I didn't think about a student loan, but I just didn't. So my senior year consisted of me going to school. I worked at Hardee's, hated it, and applying for scholarships. So morning, noon, and night, I was applying for scholarships.
Whoa.
I applied for so many scholarships. I ended up going to the College of Charleston, completely debt-free. No student loans, right, by the grace of God. Thank you, Lord.
Jesus.
I still be praising him to this day for that.
Oh, my God. Where were you with God? Where was she? Oh, Lord. It's okay. I got him now.
No student loans. And let me tell you just how God is just so good. I had so many student loans that I got a refund check every single semester between $5,000 to $7,000. Overflow.
Did y'all hear that? Excuse
every
me?
single semester. I always tell people, like, I applied for so many scholarships. I didn't get a lot of them, but the ones that I did get, they covered everything plus more.
Jesus.
So
we already talking good already.
So just imagine, like, my 18-year-old self, my 19-year-old self with a $7,000 refund check, a $5,000 refund check. Baby, I am living my best life.
Okay, and that you don't have to pay back. Because, that is not my testimony.
And I live downtown Charleston, and y'all have never, like, visited downtown. Y'all know we are known for, like, the infamous King Street. Mm-hmm. So King Street, you got all of these different stores, restaurants, nail salons, bars, just, like, everything. So I'm living my best life. If my friends don't got it, baby, I got you. Like, come on, let's have a good time.
Right.
So all of that was good and dandy until my senior year, I decided to move off campus.
Okay.
So I'll never forget calling my mom, asking her about the idea. She was like, no, don't do it. Mm-hmm. She was like, you have stayed on campus from your freshman year to your junior year. Stay on campus. Like, stop trying to be grown. Mm-hmm. Girl.
Right. You know we want to hear that. Mom, please. Okay.
I did not want to hear that. I'm like, okay, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm not listening to her. I'm moving off campus because I want my own space. I want my own apartment. You know how we just make up all of these things.
All these reasons why, all these things.
To justify it. So I moved off campus August of 2019. Love my apartment. Mm-hmm. 4 months into me having this apartment, here I am facing eviction. So y'all know rent is due on the 1st of every single month. December 1st is around the corner. I'm looking at my bank account, and I'm like, I don't have my $889.
Jesus.
So make it make sense for me. How did I blow through a $7,000 refund check in 4 months? And I was working 2 jobs, but had nothing to show for it.
Jesus.
Nothing. So in that moment, I'm like, okay, do I pick up the phone and call my mama and hear the curse words, the I told you so, the speech.
Right.
I wasn't trying to hear none of that. Mm-hmm. But I also learned that nobody had ever taught me a thing about budgeting, about money management. Yes. And I was like, I'm going to figure this thing out. Mm-hmm. So I started reading books, watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, just trying to really understand money. Yeah. And I got introduced to this whole world of personal finance. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I know for a fact I'm not the only 20-something struggling with money management.
Right. So, baby, you ain't baby. It's 30-somethings, 40-somethings, 50-somethings still struggling with money management.
Literally, because if you think about it, we learn majority of our stuff that we kind of like encounter either at home or at school. Right. We're not learning about money at school, and if your parents don't know nothing about money, you're not learning about it at home. Right. But we are taught, go to school, get a good job. Mm-hmm. But, okay, what do you do with that money after you get it?
Right. Now I got this money, and now I'm just paying bills. That's all we do?
Exactly. Like, okay. And we do not work just to pay bills. Right. I'm going to say that again. We do not work just to pay bills. Mm-hmm. So, as I am just learning all of this different stuff, it started off as an Instagram page where I was just sharing all of these different, like, new ideas from, like, the books that I've been reading and these podcasts that I've been listening to. And then my friends will start sliding in my DMs like, girl, how you budget your money? Or how can I increase my credit score? Or what credit card do you have? Mm-hmm. So as they were like asking me different questions, I'm like, wow, people really want this information. Yes. So yeah, that's how it started.
And that's how it all started. Mm-hmm. Man. I want to bring up something from like a previous episode that I was talking with Keisha Bass, and we were just talking about how like God is so he's so good and he uses everything. Yeah. And we were talking about how like he uses those places where we might not have been good at something, or that we like he nobody taught us, or they couldn't see us, or certain things like that. And that's actually like our ministry or whatever. And so you get to be a spotter for people. And so I'm a gym girl, and if you think about it, like the weight. Sometimes, like when you're trying to lift something, the weight of something is so heavy that you need somebody to be a spotter for you. That's to good. Show you how to like lift that weight better, or make sure it doesn't crush you, or different things like that. And so I was talking about like there's different areas where God has like ordained different people to be, and most of that time it's because you didn't have somebody to spot there for you. Yes. Like, and so now you can see somebody about to lift something heavy, and you like, hold up, girl, like that is the wrong credit card to get. Like you about to have interest rates. Like, please, no. Or, girl, like, you gonna need a budget. Like, you trying to do this, and you eat out every day? No, ma'am. like, no, So, I think it's just so beautiful, like, how faithful God is. Like, and even the idea of, like, oh, what if you did just take the easy way out? Like, would you be this spotter? Like, would you be this thing? And so,
because looking back at it now, I'm like, I was so embarrassed and ashamed, and I realized money is one of those taboo, like, conversations. People don't really want to talk about money. Yes. And I was so ashamed to the point where I didn't want to call my mom. But even that was intentional.
Right.
And then me getting out of, like, girl, it's just so much that I just know God is all over this story. So I'm going to just take you back a little bit.
Yeah.
When I didn't have my rent money, I pulled out a blank sheet of paper and I was like, all right, I need to write down what I'm making versus what I have coming out. So going through my bank statements. And I realized I was living way above my means. I'm like, Kionnie, if you didn't get this refund check, you would literally be under the poorhouse. Like, you do not need to be in this apartment, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to quit both of my jobs, which sounds crazy, but I wasn't making enough money. And I got 2 more jobs. I got a job at a hotel downtown Charleston. They were paying me a good bit of money. And then I got a second job at my apartment complex.
Okay.
Now, they wasn't paying me a whole lot of money, but they gave me a discount on my rent.
Okay, because I was about to say, baby, okay, I see what you're doing there.
The rent went from being $8.89 to $7.20.
Okay.
So I was so, like, it was just so creative. Now, this is the good part and the God part. March of 2020, COVID hits.
Okay.
So our school is like, after spring break, y'all don't have to come back. So I'm like, okay, if we don't have to be here, I don't need to be in this apartment paying rent.
Right.
The only reason why I was able to get out of my lease was because I was an employee at the apartment.
Listen.
You
Ain't
cannot
God so
tell
God?
me that
Only
that's not
God. Only God.
Because I had lost the hotel job. I'm a little front desk.
Right.
I'm the first person they get
They
rid
like,
of.
oh, girl, you got to go back.
Exactly. So in my mind, I'm already thinking, like, how am I going to pay for this apartment?
Man.
The only reason why I was able to leave was because I was an employee. So as bad as the situation was, like, it was so many learning lessons, so much intentionality from it. And going back to your point about being a spotter, I think that I am able to even share financial education in such a relatable way and share it from a place of empathy because I've been there before.
Right.
I'm not the one that's going to say, I'm going to tell you, you don't need to be eating out every day. But I'm not going to be shaming you for it. Right? It's a way that you communicate and a way that you teach.
Yes. And I think that's the part that's even more beautiful. Like, it's nothing better than a person who actually understands what you're experiencing.
Right.
So when you got a marriage counselor or somebody who's leading you who like, oh yeah, I done been through this. Or somebody who is now financially advising you or whatever like that. And they like, girl, like, this ain't embarrassing. Like, you ain't got to be ashamed or whatever like that. And so I know even more recently, I had to go to somebody and be like, I don't know how we got here. Like, okay, all our bills are being paid. All our stuff is good, but I don't like where we at right now.
Yeah.
And, like, literally the Lord had told me, like, screenshot this and take it to this person and show them, like, where I was at or whatever. And it was so, to me, I was like, man, I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. Like, I should be further along. Like, I should have this way. Like, I just bought a home. I just did all these things. Like, I should look more responsible. Like, but then, like, the Lord was just like, how? Like, you don't know. You don't know. Like, and it's okay. Like, and I was just literally like, I never had to make a detailed budget in this way. Like, I never, like, I was like, okay, God, I was just getting by. And I think it was even God told me that I can trust you to even get to this place. Yes. Like, thinking about, like, God trusted you with that place because he knew you would, like, turn to him. Yeah. And I think it's just so beautiful. Like, when I was like, God, how could I get here? He was like, because I can trust you to get here.
Good.
And I was like, oh, okay, God. Like, what does that even mean? What about that? So you can trust me to, like, get to a place where I'm like, Lord, okay, wait, the finances ain't where I thought it was going to be. Like, now I got to use my credit card for a little bit to figure this out or whatever. And he was just like, because, like, if you keep living loose, like, Iman, you cannot keep living loose like this. Like, he like, for where I want you to go, I want you to be a millionaire. But if you living loose, it won't even feel like millions to you. It'll still feel too small. Like,
girl.
And so I was like,
I hope y'all listen.
So I was like, ooh, okay, God, like, because we could think like, okay, God, well, like, I need more. And he like, I'm not giving you more. I'm not giving you more. Like, sometimes he'll do stuff like, I'm going to give you less to see if you really can make it stuff like, but I was like, okay, God, all right, this is where I'm at. This is not a bad place. This is not a bad thing. Whatever like that. Okay, now we just got to tighten up. Like, we got to get
manage
disciplined.
what he has already blessed you with.
You got to be a good steward.
He's not going to give you more and you're having a difficult time managing it. I always tell people, if you can't manage your $30,000, you will not be able to manage your $300,000. Right. You won't be able to manage your $3 million. And building wealth starts with budgeting. I know budgeting is not the sexy thing. We want to focus on making the money. But if you don't know what to do with the money when you actually get it, you're going to consistently be in this cycle of working. So we have to get the foundation down pat, because just like a house, once you build your foundation, everything else that you build upon it is going to be strong if your foundation is strong. But if the foundation is weak, the house can come tumbling down.
Right, at any time. You just like, well, whoa, wait, how did that happen? Okay, like, baby, the foundation was never quite there. Like, you was making it happen some kind of way. But, you know, like, who wants to live a life where you just making it happen some kind of way?
Yeah.
Or I think, too, especially for Christian people who always need a miracle or who always need a whatever. And I finally had to be like, God, I don't want, even when I went to the person, I was like, I know you have the means to bless me. Yeah. Like, I know you have the means to, you know, right now pay everything that I need. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that. And I don't want to be in a place where I always need a miracle or, God, please come through. Like, you know, sometimes, you know, like, there are certain circumstances. But I was just like, I want to be able to be the answer for other people.
For sure.
Like, how do I get to the space where, like, if my little cousin calls me today and, like, I need money for my apartment or that, like that, I'm like, oh, okay. You know, like that. And I'm like, I got you. But not only that, let me help you, you know, let me teach you. Let me teach you this. And, like, let me show you this or whatever like that. Or what is this business you sitting on? Like, what is this, like, girl, you know? And so, I think it's all of that.
We just sometimes, I feel like we make stuff very spiritual when God has given us the ability, like, to do the thing.
Yeah.
And earlier you said discipline. Like, I'm very proud of your willingness to even be open and honest about where you were, because I think that that's the first spot. Like, sometimes people think, like, oh, I need to make more money. More money isn't going to solve your problems. It's the management. So you being honest with where you are, you sitting down. We can go through this too. Like, you sitting down, actually looking through your bank statements. Like, how many times do we actually look through our bank statements to see how much do I typically spend on gas? How much do I typically spend eating out?
Right.
What bills are coming out of my account on a monthly basis? What subscriptions do I have that I don't even use?
Them subscriptions, baby.
You get
That'll get you right there. You're like, oh, I done saved $100 a month already. Cancel that stuff.
So yes, we have to be really honest with ourselves and discipline.
Yeah. So that sounds like the place to start. The place to start is you got to get honest about, you know, where you are, what you're spending, what you're doing, or like that. And I think a very helpful place, we can kind of talk about this for a second. Girl.
Stop wasting your money.
Girl, stop wasting your money. Okay, by the way. And even if you're not a female, y'all, this is good. Yeah. This is good. And so I'm excited about that. And so, which you kind of talk about that in here. Like, here's a page for you.
Yeah.
Put everything in plain sight. Like, you need to see it. So I guess kind of start there. Like, how that even started for you. Like, how you start with the putting everything out there and all the things.
Yeah. So I would say the first thing is really going through your bank statements, because that's something that we don't typically do.
Yes.
So pull out your bank statements. Do not rely on what's in your brain, y'all. For one, we lie to ourselves all the time. For two, we think that stuff isn't as deep, or we think it's a little bit. But I'm telling you, the $7.99, the $5.99, the $6.99, all of that stuff adds up. So pull out your bank statements and really go through, like, what's coming out of your account, just so you can kind of identify some patterns, your spending habits, different things of that sort. Now, when it comes to actually budgeting, I call it lifestyle budgeting, because I don't think that budgeting is this monthly cookie cutter process.
Okay.
And I think that, like, when we think about budgeting, we always go to, oh, this is to limit me. This is to restrict me. But I tell my community that budgeting is your financial GPS.
Okay.
So if I am going to an unfamiliar place, I'm going to go type in the address in my phone, and it's going to give me directions to get from point A to point B. So same thing with your budget. You make the money, so you have to tell your money where you want it to go.
Yes, I love that.
You have to give your money direction, because if you don't give it direction, it's going to go to Amazon. It's going to go to Target. It's going to go to Starbucks. It's going to go to Chick-fil-A. So you have to, like, basically be in control of where this money is going.
Yes.
So lifestyle budgeting, first thing, budget every single time you get paid.
I like that.
So every single time you get money coming in, make a plan. On payday, we plan.
Okay.
So that's the first thing that you want to do. Make a commitment to budgeting every single time you get paid. The second thing you want to do is list out your income. And guys, if you see, well, you probably don't have the plan in front of you, but I'm going to just talk you through it. Okay. The first thing you want to do is list out your income, right? And then on the opposite side, you want to pull out your expenses and your bills, but not for the entire month.
Okay.
Just from this
that
pay period.
one paycheck.
That one paycheck. And then after that, you want to allocate it into 4 different areas. I always tell people that money is just a tool.
Okay.
And there are 4 ways to use money as a tool. Mm-hmm. So for short, I remember it as SSIG.
Okay, y'all, this is good.
Okay.
Y'all hope you better have a notebook. You ain't about to have this book, but you better have a notebook. Okay, go ahead.
SSIG. So the first S is save.
Okay.
The second S is spend.
Okay.
I is invest.
Okay.
And G is give.
Okay.
So
save,
what are you saving?
Invest, give.
Exactly.
Okay.
Save, spend, invest,
give.
Save,
spend, invest, give. Nothing like a song to make you remember. Okay, there you go.
So every single time you get paid, these are the 4 questions you need to be asking yourself. Okay. What am I saving? What am I spending? What am I investing? And what am I giving? Mm-hmm. Because there is more to money than just making it, spending it, and barely saving it.
Okay, that's good.
We know how to go to work. We know how to make the money.
Right.
We know how to spend the money. We can do that in our sleep.
Okay.
And then we barely save it.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So every single time you get paid, you want to ask yourself those 4 questions. Mm-hmm. Now, because we are believers, we pay our tithes first. Right. Straight off the top. Mm-hmm. After you pay your tithes, you need to be next in line. Okay. Pay yourself first. Mm-hmm. We don't prioritize our savings. Mm-hmm. We still believe that we have to work, pay our bills, splurge a little bit, and then put saving on the back burner. Mm-hmm. Yes. We're not doing that. You want to prioritize your savings. Okay. I always encourage people to save at least 20% of your income. Mm-hmm. But if that's too much, start with what you can. Okay. That's the average American doesn't have $1,000 in their savings account for an emergency. Very true. But if you save $20 every single Saturday, at the end of the year, you will have over $1,000 in that account. That's good. And $20, it seems like, right. That's not a lot of money. But $20 adds up over time. So I try to break things down where people can feel like it's attainable and they can actually do it. Right, right. So prioritize your savings. The second thing with spending, you want to put your bills in that spend column because that's the first thing you want to pay. Pay your bills on time. Okay. And then after that, think about what do I actually want to spend my money on between now and the next time I get paid. Mm-hmm. So remember I told you kind of go through your bank statements and look at your patterns so you can see how much do I typically spend eating out. Because if you typically spend, let's just say $300 eating out, it's not really realistic for you to go from $300 to $50. Right. Because you're not used to doing that. Right. So look at your patterns so you can kind of like navigate and kind of switch some things up. Right. And really spend your money based off of what you value. We live in a very trendy social media time. Everybody want a little Stanley cup. Right. And you don't even like cups for real. Right. You know what I'm saying? Why are you buying another cup? Why are you buying another cup? And there's nothing wrong with the Stanley cup, but make sure you're buying it because you actually value it. Right. Not because it's a trend on social media. So good. You get what I'm saying? Yes, that's so good. So value-based spending is something that I practice, something that I preach. Somebody might value video games. Right. And it doesn't make it a bad thing. That's what you value. I don't value video games. I value crab bags though, so I'll go spend $50 on a crab bag, and you might spend $50 on your game. Right, and it's okay. You get what I'm saying? I love that. Yeah, that's so good. The next thing, invest. We always want to make sure that we are investing. So you can be investing in yourself by taking a course, going to a conference, purchasing a book, opening up that Roth IRA. And anyone that doesn't know what that means, that's just an individual retirement account. So you're preparing for the 60-year-old you, the 65-year-old you. So when you do turn that age, work is optional for you. You don't necessarily have to have a job, right? Yes, so good. So you always want to be thinking about how you can be investing. Invest in your self-education. And then last but not least, give. Give. It's so important. And I don't care what level you are on, like you have enough to give. Yeah. To that person that's experiencing homelessness, to that organization that you care about, to that friend that's on your mind. You're like, girl, let me just send her some lunch money today. Lunch on me. And you don't know what she's going through, but that could like literally light up her whole entire day. So save, spend, invest, and give. Yes. I love the whole thing. I think it was so good. It just blessed me. And I literally was over here like just taking notes in my heart like, yes. So good. Yeah. I think I love when you said invest. Sometimes that word can seem overwhelming to people. Like when you hear invest, you like, oh, what should I invest in? What should I do? Yeah. But I love how you even just said starting with yourself. Like, like you might just need to take a course. Like, and it may be on investing. You know that, like, and so it doesn't seem so giant or huge to you. I think we have to get okay with walking into unknown or like that. Like, I think you can hear certain words or just certain stuff, and you like,
too big,
right.
too huge, what like that. Like, but you can do big things. Like you can walk into the unknown and like trust that God is going to reveal and open this stuff up to you. You know like that. So it's stuff I've been like studying now and looking into that I thought I would never understand as I'm like learning all this content stuff, all this, and I'm like now I'm watching the videos and I'm like, oh, this not as crazy or big as I thought it was. Like, you know, the people like, baby, you can post a 5-second clip. Like, it really ain't that deep. Like,
we be counting ourselves out before we even get started.
Right. And so I was like, oh, when you talk about invest just now, it was like, oh, like a breath of fresh air came out when you started with your list of like, okay, and then there's this account. Like, you don't have to immediately jump to, I need to try to figure out if Bitcoin is it, or this is that, or da-da-da. Like, if you hear it, I'm like, okay, well, what are people investing in right now? I'm like, show me, God. You know, like, I'm like, I'm praying, God, show me the big one. You know, like that.
And can I touch on that, too? Yeah. Because when we hear the word invest, we typically associate investing with the stock market. And that's not what it is. Like, the stock market is an investment vehicle. It's a way to invest.
Yes.
So, no different than our hair. It's a way to wear our hair, like braids. Yes, twist. The stock market is a way to invest. Invest is a really broad term. So I want you to think about growth. You are putting your money somewhere with an expectation of a return.
Okay, listen.
So that's just investing.
This girl good, okay?
You are putting your money someplace with an expectation to get your money back plus more.
Yes.
The stock market is just an investment vehicle. Invest in your self-education.
Yes.
Invest in real estate. Invest in, like I said, that course. So there are many different ways to invest, not just the stock market.
Yes, yeah. And I think even seeing investments as, like I said, like, so for instance, you know, you go get a certification to do lashes. Like, you go in paying that money because you expect that once you start this thing up, or like, you know, even if you're just doing it for your family or a little bit of people around, that there's going to be some kind of return coming from that, you know, like that. So I think even just debunking that whole over thing, like, okay, that was an investment in yourself, and it will breed like return, you know.
Let me tell you about a course that I invested in probably like 3 years ago. It was a mobile home course.
Okay.
The course was $250 at the time, and I didn't even know a whole lot about it. I just learned about, they were called the Mobile Home Elite Investors. I learned about them by listening to a podcast. And I'm like, South Carolina, that's mobile home state. Like,
right.
And especially being from where we're from, we always see mobile homes.
Yes. I grew up, I was in a few mobile homes growing up.
Literally. So I invested $250 in that course. Learned what I learned. Started taking action. Iman, on my first deal, guess how much I made?
How much you made, girl?
$3,600.
Really?
My first deal, I made $3,600. Now, it took me 6 months to make that $3,600. But what that showed me was that it works, for one. And then, two, there's power in investing in yourself. It's power in investing in yourself. And then even when we're thinking about, like, investing in the stock market, if that is something that you're interested in, invest in what you consume. Don't make it deep. Don't make it hard.
Right.
This iPhone that I have, because I'm a consumer of Apple products, I have an iPhone, I have a MacBook, I need to have ownership in Apple.
Okay.
I need to buy an Apple stock.
Listen, that's
because
good.
I'm scrolling on Facebook and Instagram. I consume this stuff. I need to have ownership in Meta.
Listen.
So let's not think really deep about it. Just think about, and this is very surface level financial education. Like, I'm not giving y'all no investment advice. Right. I just had to put that out there.
Listen, okay, good.
Surface level.
So people are like, yes, tomorrow I'm going. You're like, okay, now.
Invest in what you consume.
That's really good.
Like, really just think about, what do I already use? Because if you use the company, if you like the company, if you trust the company, there are millions of other people that
doing the same thing.
And as their stock goes up and they make money, you're going to make money too.
That's so good. I think this is so practical.
Very.
Like, especially for the people who are ready, are ready to, you know, be a financial baddie or ready to stand on business financially, you know, all the different things. And so I know for me, like, I was like, okay, I literally was like, Lord, this is my season to, you know, when we think discipline, we can pull out all these different things. But the Lord was like, in this area too, baby. But I told you, had that thing not happened to me, I'd have been like, oh, that's not one of the areas that I need to focus on. Everything's good. Everything's getting paid. The lights on, water running, what about that, baby? You know, like, I got gas in the car. If I want to go eat, I go eat. And so it was like, okay, like,
there's
maybe
more.
Like, literally, like, even to the Lord was like, baby, you got plenty of clothes. Chill on the clothes. Like, actually spend time like investing in this area or doing this thing like that, like, or put this back into yourself for a little bit, like, but not in a way of that I just buy things that, you know, that don't, you know, do anything for me, but that I actually like right now, okay, God, this is something that would really help me. This is something that I could really grow in. Like, it might be that it's at home gym equipment, you know, that, because now I want to like not pay a gym membership or not whatever it is, you know. And so I'm just like, okay, God, whatever you want me to do. And I just think it's like, I was like, it's just, you just made it so simple for me to be like, oh, like, this doesn't have to be a giant, like, and the giant can be slayed. Let's just say that too. Right. Like, it might be a giant. It has been a giant in your family for so long, but that doesn't mean that you don't have the rock to knock that thing down. Right. Let's just say that. And so I know for my family, I grew up in poverty and stuff like that, and so there actually is, you know, I call it, it's like the spirit of poverty. Like, it begins to follow you. It becomes your mindset or whatever like that, all the things. And so, like, it feels hard or to even imagine that you can have more. Yeah. And I talk about this, like, you know, it's almost like this wall. Like, you start to access it a little bit, and then you like, oh, no. I actually had a fear of actually being successful because I won't know what to do with it. Like, so, and there's people who have that fear, and they people, you know, you're not scared of failing, like, or you are kind of scared of failing, but it's on the opposite end. Like, to actually get successful, to actually, you know, actually have money, to actually have wealth, and then not know what to do with it, or, you know, like, and just be like, well, you know, oh,
and do you feel like that stems from how you were raised?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I know, like, my family, they're so gifted, they're so talented, but I'm always like, what's holding you back? Like, what you like that? And like, the Lord kind of revealed to me, like, it's one, the poverty mindset, but two, the fear of, like, I don't know past this point. Like, but you also have to overcome that fear so that you can get past that point. Yes. And so, kind of to the point where I'm like, I'm scared to show somebody that this is where I'm at. Like, I'm scared to let people get in my business. Now I'm like, please get in my business. Like, tell me how I can be better. Like, you know, like, so I got people in my marriage. I got people in my, you know, my finances now. I got people in all the things. And I'm like, please get in my business. I need to know these things so I can make it past this point, you know? And so, literally, like, that's for Black people, specific, okay?
And one thing I've been saying this year, I'm like, the question of the year with 2024, as I am, you know, pursuing my goals and reaching my dreams, the question isn't how, it's who. Ooh. And it's twofold. Like, who, remembering, like, God called me to this space, so I need to always, like, humble myself and depend on Him and really trust in Him to help me navigate this new, unfamiliar area. Yes. And then who does He have around me that I can be open and honest with about where I am? Yes. And ask for help.
Right.
So I just want to submit that to y'all. Like, the question is not, how do I do this? Who can I turn to?
Who? Yes. I think.
Who can I run to? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Literally, who can I run to?
Who can I run to? Literally. So that's a good thing right there too, to check who you're around and to know, like, okay, all the time I like, okay, proximity is prophetic. I talk about it, you know, we talk about it at church and all the different things along those lines. And so I'll see people in the Lord like, you can have that. And I'm like,
exposure. Come on.
Right. And I'm sure, I'm like, oh, God, no. Like, I don't know. You know, that. And so I had to be like, okay, well, I can. So I might need to go sit down and have a conversation about what that looks like to access that level or whatever like that. But that's why I was like, so watch who you around. Yes. Like, start getting around people who's where you want to go. Right. Too. And then, like, you will think they might not want to talk about it, but
they do.
They do. Like, you know, you'll be like,
I cannot tell you the amount of people I have relationships with because I slid in their DMs.
Listen.
Ask the questions.
I'm telling you, like, I used to be like, oh, I'm not gonna say nothing to them or da-da-da, like, but I really do, that thing that they do, I really like that, and it do feel like something I want to get into, but I don't know. Like, now I'll be like, girl, hey, girl, I see that you doing this, da-da-da, like, what, how did you start, what, and they're like, oh, let's do a chat, da-da-da, and you like, or let's grab lunch, and I'm like, oh, me, you know, like that, and so I'm just like, oh, but I just don't be afraid of, like, the unknown or, you know, or the cliches or the embarrassing. Like, some people never work on their credit because they're embarrassed of their score. You know?
That part, yeah.
And you know, and I've been there too. Like, I don't want to show nobody that I did this or I'm da-da-da or, you know, like that. And I didn't even have no credit. Like, you know, because I was so scared to show people that, you know, oh, all I got on here is my student loans and my, like that. So I would go places and try to, like, get stuff and they like, it ain't even that your credit is bad. You ain't got no credit.
you
Like, the
don't have
only thing
none
on here
established.
is your student loans. Like,
Yep.
you need to go get you a little car. You need to go do this and da-da-da like that. And I'm like, a little car where? Da-da-da. And so it was finally when I was like, all right, I'm going to have to ask somebody because I want to eventually be able to get a car. Like, you know, like, every car I had been given to me. I've been blessed with it. And I was grateful to be blessed in that way. Right. But when it finally was like, I want to go to the lot and I want to pick one out for myself. Like, you know, and then they was like, well, then, baby, you got to get you some credit. Yeah. So, you know, like, I'd start talking to people and they like, okay, try this car right here. Like, you should be able to get approved for this. And this is the good one for a student and all these different things like that. And I'm like, okay, perfect. But it all starts with just okay, I'm willing to expose myself in this area. And, yeah. So, I'm trying to think. If I'm a girly who's ready to get ready. Yeah. Outside of just getting honest, opening up, what's some other, I guess, avenues or things I could do? Or you talked about some of the literature, some of the stuff you read, some podcasts, but you have your own podcast, right? Are you still doing your podcast?
We working on it, guys.
Okay, it's me talking about.
But YouTube channel.
Yeah, because you already know what I'm about to say. Oh, okay, YouTube channel. Yeah. Okay, so you doing YouTube?
Yeah. So I would just say, change what you consume. And it doesn't mean like you can't watch Netflix, you can't listen to your music, like all of that stuff is cool. But just add in, you know, a little bit of personal finance content. Some of my favorite books that I've read is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It totally changed my entire mindset about money. A book that I'm reading right now is called Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. Okay. That one has been really, really good. Another book that I like is it's by Tiffany Aliche, the Butchanista. Oh, what's the name of the book? Get Good with Money. Okay. That's another book that I like. It's very practical, step-by-step, like tips and different things of that sort. So, yeah, change what you consume. Yeah, those are some good ones. Like, which I kind of, I think offline, we were talking about that, how I had to like, you know, put down, or I might have shared it here, just, I had to like stop so much Netflix and stop so much, like, because that's an investment too. Yep. And I realized that I was actually kind of living in this fantasy land. Like that was my like escape from my reality. Like, so I would go home and be like, life is terrible. Nothing is going right. Netflix. And I can binge watch, you know, all these seasons when I actually could have been like investing in myself. Or I could have turned on something that was educational or that's, you know, what I could have learned. They free classes. There's all the different things. Like, by the time I've watched all those series, I could have graduated from something. You know what I mean? Like, and you will be so surprised by just what you have never been exposed to, what you haven't thought about, what nobody has taught you. Right. Like, most of the stuff that I have learned, I did not go, I went to school for public health. Once I graduated during COVID, and I had the option, like, I could have went to UNC Chapel Hill to get a master's, but that wasn't where my heart was. I'm like, I want to learn more about personal finance, financial education, and really help people. Really help people. So it did not start from me being in this institution and like this organized educational system. Like, don't let any of that stuff deter you from just pursuing the information because it's out there. Right. And I love that too, because sometimes I feel like a lot of people who go to school for one thing don't end up. They do not end up where they started or, you know, like that. I went to school for music and yes, I sing and stuff like that. But I tell you what, I was like, I did not have to go put myself in debt to do what I'm doing now. Now, granted, I met Pastor Travis while I was at Columbia College and we started doing ministry and stuff together, you know, so the Lord used everything that, you know, and so grateful for all of that. But I'll just say that the Lord will lead you where he wants you to be. For sure. And I think this is like, even the way you share, like the way your passion for it and all the things, it is like feeling like you can talk with your homegirl about the things, but you also can feel like, okay, she also is still calling me up. Like, okay, yeah, this I'm gonna make it simple for you. Yeah. But also, time to come on now. You know, that. And I want to be a millionaire and want to have all of these different things going on, but it's not just nothing cute to say. You actually have to put in the work. Right. And it starts with what you have right now. And how you think millionaires stay millionaires? That part. Or how do they turn into billionaires? You know what I mean? Like it take work. Like, and so I'm just like, oh, okay, God. Like, you know, because you can think, like, please. Like, it's not about to fall in your lap. And he like, no. Like, I think what really hit for me, I think probably the end of last year, is the Lord, like, you can be a millionaire, but it ain't just like a drop out the sky.
It's in your hands.
Yeah.
Like, and I was just like, okay, baby, my hands, God, I'm looking at them. I don't see the $1 million. And he like, you know how many gifts, how many things I've already like given you, like all these different things you know how to do, like get to work, you know that, like just start somewhere, just start doing different things with that. And so I think even that for me was just like, oh God, like this is not just some miracle become a millionaire. This is like, okay, there's different areas I'm going to have to work in. I'm going to have to lean in. Like, you're going to start guiding me and showing me where I'm supposed to go, where I'm supposed to be, how to say yes, how to show up and do this podcast, you know, like that. Like, not because this might be monetized or just that particular thing, but that it can also get me in the right room with the right people, you know? So you never know who happens to click or happens to watch or just all the different things. Like, but just start showing up. Start showing up. And so, I think it's just, I love how all the things, God has been showing me how all the things work together. Like, discipline just overall promotes just a better life for you.
Yes, and that part.
So, yeah.
Because if you can be disciplined in one area, and say, for instance, it's the gym. Mm-hmm. If you can be disciplined in the gym, you can be disciplined with your finances. Yes. The first thing I said, make a commitment to making a plan every single time you get paid. Mm-hmm. So that's discipline in itself. If you are disciplined with watching Netflix every single time you get off work, that's discipline. Right. You just disciplined in an area that's not necessarily giving you the greatest benefit. Mm-hmm. But if you can be disciplined in that area, you can be disciplined.
Wait, you just preached your word. Because some people are disciplined. Like, because there's people who think, like, oh man, I actually was talking to somebody the other day, and they're like, you're organizing, you're disciplined. And I was like, baby, who? Like, I was like, who? No. I said, but I was like, no, now, you know, I'm working with God, and he is teaching me. I was like, but it actually takes training. Yes. I was like, and you need to ask God what areas you need to be disciplined in. And he may not give you all of them at one time, but he'll tell you where to start. You know, like that. He'll tell you where to start, and then he'll lead you like, okay, well, also, while you working on this, go to this area or whatever like that. But actually, I was disciplined the whole time. It just wasn't the proper, like, places to be disciplined. Right. So it turned into another D, distraction.
Preach, Iman.
And so, yeah. So, like, I think I shared a few times, like, how even I got to this moment was I was sitting down on the couch, and I was literally like, oh, my God, somebody told me about a show on HBO Max. I can't wait to turn it on, whatever like that. So my cousin, I asked her, I was like, hey, can I get your HBO Max, whatever like that. She was like, yeah, sure, send it to me. And I guess she sent me, like, the wrong password or something. So I'm, like, trying. God done typed it in 3 times. I'm like, and the Lord literally was finally like, girl, like, how often are you going to keep searching for distraction?
Jesus.
And I'm like, I'm not trying to be distracted, God. Like, I'm just trying to watch a television show, da-da-da. And he was like, just stop. Like, you live a life searching for distraction. And I was just like, okay, God. And when I sat down long enough, like, he literally whispered, like, take out your voice note. I recorded that theme song to this podcast in 2 minutes. Wow. I had not wrote a song in so long because I haven't given God the space to even write. Because I would be like, I don't feel it. I can't write nothing. Turn the TV on. You know, that just different things like that, whatever. And so, like, you sharing that was like, that actually was my discipline. Yes. I wasn't disciplining myself to write or to hear God or to even hear his whispers. I was disciplining myself to be distracted.
Yes.
And, phew.
Can I share with you my scripture of the year?
Yes, please. Oh,
now we're about to run.
I love this.
Y'all, we're about to run.
I love this.
It is Proverbs 14:5. I have it here on my phone because every single day I need to see it. Mm-hmm. My scripture of the year, Proverbs 4:25, the TPT version.
The Passion Translation. Oh.
Set your gaze on the path before you with fixed purpose, looking straight ahead. Ignore life's distractions. Watch where you're going. Stick to the path of truth, and the road will be safe and smooth before you. You ready for this next verse? Go ahead. Don't allow yourself to be sidetracked for even a moment or take the detour that leads to darkness. Distractions lead you straight to darkness.
Listen.
And that first, it just gets me every time. Fix your gaze on the path before you with fixed purpose. We're talking about purpose this entire episode.
Right.
When you have a dream, when you have purpose, it's so easy for you to, how do I want to say this? It's so easy to get sidetracked because it's new, it's hard, it's difficult. But at the same time, you wake up with another like sense of urgency because I have this purpose. So it says with fixed purpose, looking straight ahead, ignore life's distractions.
Listen.
Because they're all around us.
All around. You can find it and you can, like me, search for it.
Search for it.
Because it's easier to be distracted than to be disciplined.
That's my scripture of the year. And it's so crazy that you...
So good. I was like, ooh.
I'm telling y'all.
Yeah. I want to say, like, discipline in any area will bless you because it will lead you to want more discipline in the different areas. Like, so that's why I'm like, oh, okay. I just tell people all the time, like, start with something. Start disciplining yourself. If it's just, like a Bible plan or just whatever, like, start with something. I can promise you that when you do that, like, the Lord will just start, like, be like, okay, cool. You can handle this level. I want to take you to another level. You can handle this. You can handle this. Okay, let me deal with this part next. Like, and, like, literally, that's what fixing your eyes is. Like that. And so you like, okay, God, show me. Show me. And I think, like I was like, even to our point about getting honest, you need to get honest with God about the areas where he need to show you where your gaze is not fixed. Oh,
literally. Literally.
Woo. Yeah, we was talking about finances, but it's everything, okay? Everything. You need to get focused, okay? You need to fix your eyes, fix your gaze. That's
on the path for you.
So good. Which leads me to even your planner. Okay, so one of the things I love about your planner, so I was sitting there going through it, and I love, like, the scriptures and all the things. So I guess tell me a little bit about how you've been, like, partnering with God to make sure that this journey is spiritual and financial.
Yeah. For one, I feel like I would not be here without God. So, like, how dumb of me to produce a product and not have him intertwined in it. Like,
so good.
Every single thing, every part of my life, like, literally has God written all over it. So when I think about what has kept me anchored in my personal finance journey, what has kept me going, it has been the word of God. Man. And I'm like, we make this stuff so hard, but it's like when you actually seek the Father, he tells you everything.
All his secrets.
Every single thing. Ooh. And last year, I feel like was my year of learning how to depend because I was always like this independent black woman. I was raised in a single parent home, and independence was all I knew. I wore it like it was a badge of honor. Yes. Until I realized it's nothing cute about being independent, especially when you don't have to. Okay. I was choosing to be independent. So, like, this new life of learning how to depend on the Lord and making this product, I'm like, oh, God, I got to give people the sauce because it's not about how to budget in 1, 2, 3 steps. It's really you that's going to help sustain this whole entire process. So,
I love that. And I love the word you use, sustain, because that's something that God has been dealing with me with about. I'll even pick back up. I don't know if you read the book Rooted before.
Yes, Rooted.
Love Rooted. And so the Lord led me to revisit it, and I've been teaching it to, like, our worship team and stuff like that. And so the Lord was like, I just had to just remind you again that this is not just something that you're starting again, because you can get to the top of the year and you like, cool, I'm on all these things, I want to do all these things. And he was like, this ain't what this year is about. It's about staying, it's about sustaining it. Like, and so everything you do, if you start a diet, if you started this, like, do not do it if it's not something that you are going to sustain. Like, this is supposed to be setting up your life like that. And so he literally like, I don't do shortcuts. I don't do, like, God, most people know God do the long way around, and you already know. Okay,
come
like,
on, I gotta give y'all some more words.
Come on, give us some words.
One of my favorite scriptures of all time.
Come on.
And what sparked it, you said shortcuts. It's Proverbs 21:5.
Yes.
Good planning and hard work lead to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty. Y'all, that's the first tab in the planner. I'm like, I want you to understand good planning and hard work. And somebody might look at it and think like, oh, that's just a Bible scripture. No, this can be applied to every area
part of your life.
Every part of your life. We don't do shortcuts. Good planning and hard work. That's what's going to get you to the prosperity.
Listen, and so, the Lord, crazily, that was just what I was like actually making a reel about that this morning, because I was talking about how, like, even on my fitness journey, like, God, I was like, okay, God, like, I know how to lose weight fast. Like, I could drop 20 pounds in 1 month. Like, I can go hard. Like, what you want me to do? And he was like, don't change nothing. Just listen to me. Obey me. Like, and literally when I say, like, I literally pray, like, okay, God, what you want me to eat today? What you da-da-da? He gives me what to desire. He all those different things. And so I haven't been losing weight fast like how I usually do, but it's been sustained. So I can eat, like, I don't feel bad if I eat pizza tomorrow, because I know it's not going to, like, oh, man, 10 pounds back. Like, you know, like, I'm like, oh, okay. One day I ate, you know, I went out with my friends and we went to a restaurant and all this stuff. And I was just like, dang, I messed up today, God. And he was like, no. When I went and got on the scale, I had lost a pound. Like, it was just like, I was like, oh. But that's what a life of, like, you sustaining something looks like. So he like, you don't have to keep going to back and forth. You don't have to, keep starting again and starting again and starting again. Like, this becomes a journey rather than, like, this thing that your 21 day. I'm like, no, this is my life now. Like, this whole thing I set up, it's my 75 kind journey that I've been doing or whatever. And so I didn't want to say hard because I was like, discipline is kind. Like, it actually is for my good, and like I feel better. Like, it's kind to me to be disciplined. Like, so, and like the Lord had to just debunk all of that. Like, if you call it hard, then it's going to be hard.
Look at that perspective shift.
Like, so we like, discipline is hard. This is hard like that. Like, it is not hard to go to the gym. Get up out the bed, set your alarm, and go to the gym. Right. It is not hard to drink water. Put everything else down. You're going to get thirsty, and you're going to want water. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Lord, like, stop. That means you might have to just cut out some other stuff right now until you, like, water is your first go-to. Like, like that. Like, it is not hard to read a chapter of a book a day. Like, so that's one of the things I've been doing. Read a chapter. He's like, you want to read more? Okay. You ain't got to read a whole book in a day. Yeah. But just do one chapter a day. Right. Like, see how many books you done got through, whatever. I think I'm on my 4th book already in a year like that because I've been like, okay, cool. This one got 10 chapters. So this is 10 days or this is whatever. That's like that. Good. Like, so I just got this list of things I do, 45 minutes on my craft. Like, so me talking about like, I don't have time to write. I don't have time to. He like, if you just spend 45 minutes a day, see what can happen. And
can I speak to that? Because one thing that I've had to overcome is, and maybe this is just like my personality, is wanting everything to be big and grand. Yeah. Like despising the small. Like, but it's like, don't despise the small beginnings.
Listen.
It's okay to start small, and small is okay. Small does not equate to bad. So I just want to like encourage any woman out there who's listening, and you like things to be big, grand, and all of this stuff. Start small first, and work your way up to the big and grand. I know that's something that I specifically had to work on.
Oh yeah, me too. It was a reason why I wouldn't start. Like, and I think that's the reason why a lot of people don't start because like my dad would always be like, baby, just put out something, baby, just do anything. Like, he was like, people love you, they don't care if it's blurry, as long as you singing, they can hear that voice, as long as you got something to say and it's good, as long as and I would be like, Dad, no, I want this and it gotta be this, and I see these signs and I see these lights and I see whatever, and he would be like, okay, then you'll never start. And I would be like, no, Dad, I'm going to do it. Baby, he was right, because I ain't never did it. Never did it, just talking. And I was just like, okay, this year, I'm not just doing a lip service this year. That's like, God, what you want me to do? Like, what is all this stuff? And so I was like, okay. That's why I kind of told you a little bit before you started. I was like, yeah, this light set number 5. Now we got mics. Now we got this. Like, everything it keeps changing. Like, we had, lapel. We had it. But I was like, look, I gave him my yes. And no matter how I got to keep representing it or showing, like, as long as I'm showing up, yes. Like, it might not be all grand, may not be all perfect. I'm literally sitting in my living room right now, like that. And that's fine. Like, but it's a start. Right. Like, it's a start. And I'll even say, like, it's not small because it's so big to the Father.
That's good.
Like, him just seeing the yes and you obeying is huge to him. Like, so he like, you seeing this as small, I'm literally like, go, baby, go. Like, I'm so proud of you. Like, because he knew how much it took for you to even say yes to what you consider small. So, the Lord has just been repackaging everything for me. Yes. Like, so all the stuff I'm like, well, what if it's small? What if it's only a few people that get on there? And he like, if it's only your niece, if that's the one person that watch your video or listen to your songs every single day, if she is inspired enough to get up and go, like, then that's enough. And you got to be okay with that, though. Yeah. Like, if it ain't nothing but 10 of your homegirls that, all of y'all like, okay, girl, like, we doing it like that. And it's just y'all, and they the only ones watching and whatever like that, like, only ones tuning in, you got to be okay with that. Yeah. And that's not small. Like, anytime you are making impact, it's huge. And so it might be only impacting one person, but that's huge. Yeah. So, yeah.
Faithfulness is a big deal. And that's literally what I just keep hearing as you're talking. Like, faithfulness is a big deal.
Yeah, it's so good. So, okay, Kionnie, I want you to kind of look directly into the camera. Okay. And I want you to encourage and even pray, however the Lord leads you, the girl or the guy or anybody who might be tuning in who is like, I get all the stuff y'all been saying about these different things. It's still some stuff in me that I'm trying to process so I can be like not ashamed anymore about where I am or different things like that, like so that I can even just get started, so that I can believe I can do these things. What would you say to that person?
Okay, so the first thing I would say is breathe. Everybody, calm down.
Yes.
Get out of your head and just put one foot in front of the other. And I know it seems so cliche. It don't seem that deep. But I'm telling you, once you start taking steps, you will see so much be unfolded. And then the second thing I would say is depend on the Lord. It is the greatest thing that I have ever decided to do. Keyword decided. You have to make a decision that I don't have to do this alone, because you don't. Remember, the question of the year is not how, but it's who.
I love that. Y'all, look at it. That girl right there, she good. Okay, yes. And so, and how can people get in touch? Like if they may want to work with you. They may want to get your planner. How can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so all things The Responsible Homegirl. My website is theresponsibleHomegirl.com. You can go there and purchase a planner. And then if you have any questions, you can always email me, theresponsibleHomegirl@gmail.com, or you can just slide in my DMs. I am DM friendly. I love helping people. And as you can see, like I say, I would love to help you. So slide in my DMs, email me, go to my website, anything. The Responsible Homegirl everywhere.
Speaking of sliding the DMs, you still single? when you said slide in the DMs, I was like, all right now, because just in case somebody out there trying to, okay.
All I'm wearing is my class ring. So.
Okay. Period. Okay, y'all heard what you heard. I was like, slide in the DMs. Wait a minute. Just in case a young gentleman might be coming across this today. Period.
You can slide.
So, okay, yeah, you can still slide, okay? Don't act up now, okay?
No.
But, yeah, just letting y'all know that, okay? Y'all know I'm always trying to get the girls married. But, yes, Kionnie, I am so grateful for you being on the pod, the vlog, and whatever else God wants to make it. This won't be a one-time thing. I hope you'll come back again, share more, do more things. I'm excited where this is going to go. But thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, girl. I love you. Real quick. So one of the things that's going to be happening, and I'm going to share more information about this, is we're going to be doing a giveaway. She's Rhetty Pie. I'm so excited about what God has been doing, and I'm excited to be doing a giveaway of this awesome planner. We're actually going to be giving away 2 of them. So just stay tuned and see how you can win a planner. She said yes to the call. If he said it, she gon'